The views, information, or opinions expressed during the Geeks Under the Influence podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of RVA Magazine, Loot Crate, amzn.to, or their employees. Listener discretion is advised. Fuck off if you don't like it.
No, I would get the Salton Sea and Spartan
The
and
fucking Salton Sea, man.
and Willow,
So
of course.
good.
Of course.
I would have to
fucking
get
Willow.
probably 3. Because
Wait, what's the
Willow's
one with him
amazing
and
film.
Robert Downey Jr. that I'm drawing a blank on?
oh, Kiss Kiss Bang.
Kiss
That's
Kiss Bang.
also
yeah,
amazing.
that's probably his best
Such
role.
a great flick. And that was really
Salton Sea was really good.
for me, the tail end for Val Kilmer was Kiss Kiss Bang
Yeah.
Bang. That was the last real good role that he had. Because after that it was what? MacGruber!
Don't pick on MacGruber.
MacGruber was fucking terrible.
Gruber was dog shit.
It was fucking terrible.
Yeah,
It wasn't the greatest SNL skit to begin with, let alone a fucking movie.
I saw it once and I was like, all right, I saw it.
Although I don't know if you guys noticed
that type of
in
humor.
the Guardians sequel where they did an homage to MacGruber when Star-Lord stuck a piece of celery in his asshole and started dancing around in front of Ronin 2.0. I don't know if you guys remember that part.
I
Are
forgot
you
that
sure
scene.
is that a cut scene, or did you just make that up because it makes you horny?
I might have dreamt that,
I think you
which
dreamt it.
says
No.
more about me than anyone else.
That's
I
okay.
remember
We
it.
don't judge you.
You remember it?
Yeah.
Did we have a shared dream? Is that a
Maybe.
shared dream?
Shared dreamsies.
A shared dream. We are not talking about Val Kilmer, though he'll come up, I'm sure.
Did you have an intense need to eat celery after that? Because that would be really
Only
weird.
the brown celery.
So instead
Just
of,
the brown-
So instead
just-
of peanut butter, you use
The special peanut butter.
you use some ass butter.
It's already got the peanuts in it.
I keep a jar
crunchy.
of jar of Val Kilmer's ass juice in my kitchen at all
And
times.
finely polished corn.
Some people believe in cocoa butter. I'd say, fair enough. That's pretty good too. But honestly, Val Kilmer butt butter is way better.
ass butter.
I can't believe it's not Val Kilmer butt butter.
Oh my
Val Kilmer
god.
That's the name of the episode, isn't
yeah,
it?
probably.
Butt butter.
Well, we should get started.
Nothing to do with Guardians. Val Kilmer butt
Yeah,
butter.
We've gotten started. Please tell us more.
Yeah, we're not talking about Val Kilmer's butt butter anymore after this.
Yeah.
What we are talking about is
He
Guardians
gets verklempt.
Guardians of the Galaxy. We're talking about both 1 and Volume 2 tonight, and there's plenty of spoilers.
I didn't
We've all
know.
seen this. You did not
No,
know?
we were just doing 2. That's what it says on the title.
Oh, no, we're going to do 1 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just didn't
we're-
know that.
We didn't get a chance to really do a Guardians 1. That was in the early days of the podcast when the first one came out. So
It wasn't even going on.
Oh, no, that was right before.
yeah,
we
it hadn't even
started
started
the podcast.
yet. This is the summer before.
So this is the first time we've been a podcast where a Guardians movie came out. So we're going to cover both of them. We're going to start talking about just kind of like the comic books and how completely unknown they are, and how they took a big risk by doing Guardians of the Galaxy, and it paid off in spades. And then after we talk a little bit about the first one, we're going to get into Volume 2 and plenty of spoilers. So if you have not seen Volume 2 and you care about spoilers, maybe go check it out first and then check out this episode. So thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode of Geeks Under the Influence, episode 101.
Yeah.
This is Guardians of the Galaxy 101. Thank you for listening. Welcome.
Geeks Under the Influence.
Yeah.
For those watching, you may notice that there's a slightly different setup than you're used to. The panelists are definitely conflicted about how we're doing this now. The 4 on the one camera definitely feel like they're being grilled about maybe emails or
It's like
or Russia.
fucking
by-
No, but see,
GUI
we can just
Congress
fire
up
them,
here.
though.
No comment,
we can
sir.
just fire them.
Yeah,
That's
just
all
fire
good.
them.
Just
Yeah.
fire
I
them.
plead the fifth. I plead the fifth.
It's just that we have to look at you
Fair enough. Fair enough.
all the time now.
And if we turn our heads,
It's
we're
like-
not going to be talking into the mic, and you guys get upset. And you turn.
Yeah.
It's like we're 4 crumps. Just I fucking you the whole entire
Yeah,
time.
pretty much.
So.
Yeah, this
Do
is
that.
super weird to
Yeah.
actually
Do that.
With-
make eye
knives.
contact the whole time. But we did this for you guys. We're getting a lot more involved with the video side of Geeks Under the Influence, and we've noticed from the video where the side view, we're around a table, you can see like the backs of heads, and some people are out of frame, and it's just really confusing. This way, you get a much better view of all of our pretty faces as we talk about all the geeky stuff that you love.
Well, we're not pretty, so that's not really helping them out much.
Well, luckily the cameras are far enough away. that it's like Monet. We look way better at a
Well,
distance.
I mean, I don't know. I think there's at least one pretty person here.
That's true.
He just wants to get laid tonight.
Yeah, that's true. This is an Anthony,
No. All us dudes, we look like dog shit. I mean, I love you guys, but no.
I mean,
He's got a fair point.
Yeah.
Gracious, y'all.
it's 5 men telling you how pretty you are.
It's just because I'm the only girl in the room.
I mean,
No, it's not. No.
You know, that's
You're
a lot
pretty.
of porn start. 5 dudes telling a girl how pretty she is.
yeah, it's true.
You're like the Gamora of this this podcast.
This is actually not 101
He's
of
your
GUI.
Chris Pratt.
This is episode 1 of BUI, Bukkake
Your
under the
Star-Lord.
influence.
I've been tricked.
I have to go.
All right, line up, gentlemen.
That's messy.
You have to go.
There's no.
yeah, fair enough. No,
Oh,
if
fair
anybody
enough.
needs to go.
You're right. That was very selfish.
She leaves and it turns into a circle jerk. It's
You don't have
fine,
any towels here, do you?
Well,
I didn't
we
see
can work
any
on
signs.
We got
that
some
this was gonna
hoodies,
happen.
you know. We got.
I see plenty of
See
things.
some hoodies.
We got some curtains.
We're all wearing socks. Fuck it.
It's fine. But first off, I'm Mike the Hobbit Bickett, host of the Geeks Under the Influence podcast. You can find me on Twitter at Mike Bickett, or follow the Geeks Under the Influence Twitter at GUI Podcast RVA. Follow all of our other social media stuff at GUIPodcast.com. Join the conversation. Let us know what you want to hear. We also have a phone number that you can see if you're watching just below us. It is 804-505-4GUI. That's 804-505-4484. It will most likely go directly to voicemail if you call. Leave a voicemail. Just understand that if you leave a voicemail, we may use it on the episode. So you leaving a message means we get to use it. Also, it takes texts as well. So if you just want to talk about the episode you just listened to or have some questions for a future episode, then use the number. It's the easiest way to get in touch with us. And we might even, if you bring up some good points, call you during an episode and have you join the conversation. So it's a way to kind of get involved with a podcast that you've come to love against your better judgment. So we're reaching out, so reach back. And next to me on my left, yeah, that sounded really dirty. That did. A little bit.
What was that about reach around?
Right?
If you want to reach around, call the number, and one of us will, like Uber style, show up at your house to give you a handy.
Hobbit's gonna Samwise the shit out of you.
I'm going to Samwise your Gamgee so hard.
1, 2, 3, not it.
To my left is the sexual chocolate, the mulatto magic, Mr. Lowdown Brown MacGyver's here,
What's up, guys?
playing with a stuffed Cthulhu.
I was just playing with his penis.
I mean, as you do.
Right, it's a little nub right there.
Now,
Apparently a lot of that tonight.
the thing that's never been approached by the Lovecraft stories is whether or not there's tentacles on Cthulhu's penis, or if there's multiple penises.
We don't know if Cthulhu's a guy either.
That's true.
Is non-gender specific in
So
any of the literature.
it could be like a tentacle vagina.
Thank you.
It's just an elder god that wants to
Or
consume
goddess.
everything.
Yeah, so we'll just leave it at that.
No. God,
Why is it gotta be a
God doesn't
god?
really have a gender.
Exactly.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that
Unless it's dog.
Are we talking about little G or
No, he's a big
Yeah,
G.
it's little G.
Cthulhu's
That's
a big
little
G.
G.
No, Cthulhu's little G, actually, if you go into
Cthulhu
the
is a capital God because he would smite all the other gods.
Truth, my man.
Well, no, the other gods in the non-Lovecraftian sense, but in the Lovecraftian sense, he's a high priest.
He's about to
is
come
not.
over here and kick your fucking ass talking shit.
He's
That's
not a
what
big god. He's a little G in the Lovecraft mythos.
I'm going to tell him you said that, bitch.
Oh no!
I'm
Don't
saying, right?
don't you put that hate on me?
You
Don't
said
you
it.
do it.
would
You said
that dimension jumping sea squid that was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Volume 2
Don't insult.
basically that
don't
pet?
insult Cthulhu.
No, I'm not saying comparing. I'm saying would it be like Cthulhu's pet?
He might be like an underling of
Yeah.
Cthulhu, maybe.
That
yeah.
was like
He didn't have
Cthulhu's dingleberry that fell off.
That was the turd
He
he left
didn't have
behind.
wings, man.
the bald man asking the questions is the next one on the panel. Mr. Kyle Smash is here.
Hello, everybody.
Here with let me guess what you're drinking. Hide it under the table. Is it the Devil's Backbone Vienna Lager?
Yeah, why don't you get close?
Yeah. You can
Take a
spray it
sip-
all over my
Take
face.
a sip.
Oh yeah. Welcome.
Thank you.
When did you go see Guardians?
I saw it opening night.
Okay. All right. And yeah, we're gonna get into our feelings on Guardians here very
Oh, yes.
shortly. But have you seen it just the once so far, or
Just the one time.
Slacker.
I know a lot of people have seen it like twice, or a couple of people 3 times. I need to see it again in order to get a clearer view of,
fair enough?
I was tired the first time I saw it. I didn't fall asleep. but I was tired the first time I saw
I
it.
got a little tired on the second run for myself. I didn't fall asleep, but I was definitely doing the the head naughty thing.
We'll get
there
into
towards
it,
the
but there was a lot of dialogue, maybe too much. And
I
we'll
don't
talk
know.
about that
Yeah,
later.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But next up on the panel is our resident German.
Jawohl.
The Grutzy is here. Das Grutz.
Yep. I got to see it. It was kind of unplanned, but I ended up spraining my ankle over at Crump's place last week.
Yeah, we haven't. Did we talk about it on? No,
We
that
did.
was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
the,
was on
the
100.
podcast.
Okay.
Yeah. So, in any case,
Yeah, the Nazi
I
trap,
was
that's
laid
right.
up. I had 2 days off. Of course, I sprained it like the night before my 2 days, or something like that. And then I had extra days off from work because of my foot. Friday, I think it was. We went to go see a double feature. Actually, went to go see Colossal first.
Okay.
Which was outstanding.
That looks so
I
good.
highly recommend it.
I really want to see that.
It is wicked awesome. It's funny. It's dark. It's everything you want.
Now, that's not with Guardians coming out. A lot of people may not have even known that this is a movie that's out. Explain a little bit what.
Colossal. The basic gist is that there's this girl played by Anne Hathaway, who is just a serial fuck up in her life. She's a chronic drunk and can't hold a job down and can't hold a relationship down. She goes back home, meets up with like a childhood friend, and it just so happens that when she gets blackout drunk and crazy, she can control a kaiju, a giant monster on the other side of the earth in Korea that is wrecking shit.
And her friend is played by one Mr. Jason Sudeikis.
Indeed.
Okay.
And he also commands a giant robot that...
Are you kidding me?
Dude, sorry, did I just spoil everything?
No, that doesn't sound like a spoil. That sounds like a.
It's fucking amazing.
It sounds
is
like
what it is.
I
Godzilla
don't believe
versus
that was in the
Mechagodzilla,
trailer.
or as you want to call
That
it.
was the sound of.
That's
my,
right, it was in the trailer.
Wait, that's the sound of my penis hitting the underside
Yes.
of this table.
And it was directed by a Spanish guy named Nacho.
Indeed, it was.
That's
I
fantastic.
do not trust a guy named Nacho.
So the movie was amazing.
Last name Libre?
If
No.
only.
No. Okay.
No. You know how bad that movie was?
It was bad, but I still enjoyed it.
You have bad taste.
Yeah.
The movie's bad in general.
Really?
In
The
any
movie's
case.
horrible.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
in
trying to
any...
remember, was Jay Baruchel in that, or
No.
That's why it
It
wasn't
was the
great.
skinny Mexican version of Jay
if
Baruchel.
Jay-
Yes.
the Mexican version of him?
It was the
If Jay Baruchel was in there,
Barenthal.
Baruchel, sorry.
Uh-huh.
He's going to edit.
Jay Baruchel-
Wow.
Yeah. If Jay Baruchel was in there wearing brown face as his sidekick, then it would have been way better. I'm just saying.
Nice.
So is this like a Stranger Than Fiction-esque sort of situation?
It was definitely indie, but it was also, I mean, it had good production value. Like,
Okay.
it looked legit. Like the big ass monster scenes were on point, and they were great. But like I said, the humor, the drama, the darkness, everything came together nicely. We really enjoyed it.
Wait, Charlie Murphy was in it? Darkness.
Darkness.
Fuck your couch.
Fuck your couch.
But
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah,
Charlie,
indeed.
unfortunately.
Yes.
and then we got a little bite to eat or something, maybe a drink, whatever. And then we double featured with
Can you
Guardians.
get in depth onto what you ordered for food?
Indeed. No.
Okay. All right. I'm just double checking.
But no, then we went to see Guardians,
Yep.
which was amazing, and I didn't fall asleep through the whole thing. It was awesome.
Speaking of that, the next one up on the panel is Miss Jodi, the Yankee Blue Jeans. Jodi is here, who joined. When did you guys go see the movie?
The day after my birthday.
Oh, so May the 5th.
Yes.
Revenge of the 5th.
Friday, yeah.
Yes. Which is also slowly being appropriated by Star Wars as well.
Are you serious?
Great.
Revenge of the 5th.
That's a bit much.
Is
That's a bit much.
No, if it's Star Wars, it's not.
But it
Yes.
makes perfect sense. It really does. If you look
So
at
you
it
get
from
so
a market.
hammered on the 4th, you have Revenge of the 5th? What the
Just
fuck?
give it one day. All right.
Well, look,
Just-
May
right,
the-
one day.
Seriously.
May the
It's already
4th.
got May the 4th.
Let's not
one
get
day.
into the light and dark side right now.
May the 4th is one
of
day. It does
fucking-
not need 2 fucking days.
No, but it needs the much shittier version of the holiday, which would be the prequel holiday of Star Wars. So
Hey,
that works
May the-
out.
But Revenge of the 5th isn't a prequel.
And Jody's head's gonna explode.
third.
All right, let's.
Yeah.
So, Miss Jodi, how did you enjoy the entire film of Guardians Volume 2?
So, I the first.
Look, your job depends
So
on it.
I was super. Oh, don't go there. I was super excited
Congress.
when it was all really good, and it was good to be reunited with good friends. And I felt a certain peace in the second half that was really comforting. I had expended a lot of energy watching Colossal, which I enjoyed deeply, and so. It was great to just go home and have the nostalgic comfort that I eased into for the second half of the movie. It was great.
That's nice how you bounced around that like you are actually on a Senate hearing right now.
Yeah, that was an excellent question.
Although I will give you a little bit of credit that a double feature for movies tends to be a little bit difficult. I mean, you're in a dark theater, especially if you're even a little bit tired, it tends to be a little bit much. And double featuring, and I understand you wake up at like dark 30 in the morning for work, so I'm actually going to give you a little bit of a pass on this.
She
one.
was off that day.
Boom.
Oh, well then.
Boom.
And
Way to just. Oh, look, a bus is coming, honey. Whee!
I'm just saying,
It's this table. We're just
I
selling
can get through
everybody
a
out.
double feature like nobody's business.
That's
Yeah.
you, though.
That's you, Anthony.
I'm sure four of us could. Four of us could in this room.
Double
He's
feature
he's
ain't
still a bitch.
shit. All right, double
Oh,
feature ain't
getting
shit.
through a double
Triple
feature's
features are when you get into marathon territory. All right,
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Double feature.
that's
ain't shit.
I feel like that's a triple feature.
Like, I know
depending
four of
on
us-
what you're watching.
I know
If you're
four of
watching
us can
horror
handle
movies,
that.
they're a lot
She
shorter.
can't, and he can't, apparently, because he's empathizing with the nodding off. So
Well, that's good.
I just get
I
so
like-
sleepy. I'm just so tired.
I like Good Night Night.
You like Go Night Night?
people would rather sleep their lives away than enjoy the awesomeness
All right,
that's in
all
front
right,
of
wait.
them.
You gotta
Life
get-
is too damn short.
You'll
Right?
sleep when you're
Exactly.
dead.
Our final
Yep.
panelist, the six of our six-pack that we're doing tonight, Mr. Fuck You Hunter is here.
What's up, bitches?
Now, working at a theater that will not be named, how was opening weekend for Guardians of the Galaxy?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's first week in May, so like it's just that movie. Like everything else at this point is kind of come and gone. A little bit for the Furious movie, but like 90% of people that came in were seeing Guardians too. So
I was actually surprised that we got to the theater a little bit early on opening night. We went there for the 7 o'clock showing, I think, on Thursday night. The preview night, as they call it, which is bullshit. It's
yeah,
just,
it used to be midnight, and then the studios were like, let's push it back a
yeah,
little bit.
the
Opening
midnight,
night is Thursday
the
night. now.
midnight release has turned into like Black Friday of movies, where
Oh.
it's just like they keep pushing it a little bit
There's
further.
some movies that literally we have 5 o'clock shows on Thursday now. They're not even pretending like it's sneak.
It used to be you had to wait till Friday for the movie to come out on its release day.
Well, and
You're
then there was the
old.
midnight where the
And then
the
there was that.
diehard fans would show up at like
Yeah.
11:30, and then like midnight the movie would start. But yeah, now, which is nice for me because I got to work in the morning.
Yeah.
That Thursday night, I'm not bitching about it. Yes, I will absolutely go there at 7 instead of like midnight.
That's because all those people who used to show up at midnight when they were in high school now have to go to work in the morning.
Yeah,
We're all
Fair enough.
older.
But
A lot
why even
older.
bother like giving a release date for that Friday? Like, no, motherfucker, it actually opens on Thursday because pretty much all the movies start on Thursday, right?
right. With the studios, they'll also get a jump on how well the feature's going to do. Like,
Still, they're like
Yeah.
released on that Friday date, but it's coming on Thursday.
They
It's
even
fucking
have
stupid.
deals with your on demand where you could, if you want to spend the money, you can purchase the movie for a short amount, for
yeah.
a certain amount of time before it's
yeah.
even in fucking theaters.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So why even count the Fridays? Don't the Thursday sales roll into the opening weekend numbers?
well, and I think that's also it's a way to pad the
that's-
opening
That's
weekend
what I'm
numbers
saying.
as well.
that
yeah.
Friday
Yeah.
number.
I thought that
Thursday
was-
goes into it.
Overseas numbers, because isn't that what they generally release first, just to see how it's going to do with the rest of the world?
It
before
depends. It's
Most-
kind of
most
it's
big
weird how they
movies
do
do
it
that.
now. It's different than how they used to. But
Some movies they release overseas first. Some they wait.
it's harder with the internet because of bootlegging and everything like that. It's harder for them to have a release a week or two ahead of time in another country without it affecting sales in a
I believe
different country.
Guardians 2 was released overseas first.
It's very possible.
yeah, I think it was released in China.
in China.
In China.
China.
So yeah, let's get into Guardians. This is the panel that you're dealing with. Wait, first up, let's give a very quick shout out to our sponsors before we get moving. First up is our longtime sponsors, amzn.to. If you go to GUI101.com and click on the link on the homepage for Amazon affiliates, you go to Amazon through that link, bookmark it. Anytime you use that bookmark, we get a little bit of a cut of anything that you purchase through Amazon. So it's a way to support this podcast without spending any additional money. We use amzn.com all the time for this equipment. Like the people watching, there's a new table, 8-foot table that we purchased through the link at
You should be doing
amazon.com.
the display.
It's nice. You can stretch your legs out.
It's not. It's just easier on the video.
There's a lot of room going on here. That
It's
I'm happy
way
with.
roomier than it used to
I,
be.
I
So
can't reach out and touch you guys.
that was made
Good.
We
possible.
want to. Don't you say that like you mean it.
We can touch each other on the breaks. It's fine. We do that anyway. But that was made possible through Amazon.com. We're big fans. It helped us get this whole podcast set up. So, anything that you need from dog food to fucking your own podcast equipment, just go through the link at GUI101.com.
And depending on your city, you can get beer and wine delivered to your house through
That shit
Amazon.
needs to come
That's
to
the thing.
Richmond, man.
It
Holy
is in
shit.
Richmond.
It is in
bitch.
Richmond now.
It is in Richmond now?
Yeah, they
Yes.
just announced that we can now. They have to. You got to make sure that you have your ID on you, of course, and all that. But you can now get 2-hour Amazon Now delivery of beer
What?
through
And
Amazon.
wine.
You
Dude,
just made
parties
him a
are-
call-in guest.
Parties are a new
I never-
level, man. Like,
Never have to
seriously.
drive anywhere again.
I
When
would
you run out of
definitely
beer,
run out
or
of beer.
wine.
Depending on your city, there's different cutoff times. I know at least for our area in Richmond, it's 10 o'clock is the cutoff for Amazon
God
Now.
damn.
So
Oh, that sucks.
so that means that you got to think ahead a little bit. It can't be midnight or like 20 till and then you order beer.
That's when you
Still,
need
though,
the beer.
If you're having summer's coming up, if you're having an all-day cookout, starts at like 2, you'll know by like 8 we're out of fucking beer. You just put an order in.
Yep.
Bam.
Is it
Good.
different on Sundays? I mean, is it like 5 o'clock on Sundays? Is their cutoff? Because goddamn it.
I think it's just 10 across the board.
All right,
but
good, good.
again, it's all on the Amazon site. Just make sure if you're doing that or anything else through Amazon, go through the link first at
This is like the most
GUIPodcast.com.
exciting thing ever for me. Like,
It's
just
super
order
exciting.
beer.
It's a
This
game
is
We're never going to
amazing.
see you again.
This is great. Yeah.
Would be dicks if we try to order it in a snowstorm.
Hey, it doesn't specify.
Somebody's getting paid.
Chinese food places are open. Just
Actually,
saying.
they might have a drone. We're probably okay.
just drop it down.
Yeah.
The other sponsor of us for a little bit now is Loot Crate. There's also a link to Loot Crate through our friends and sponsors page on GUIPodcast.com. Go through that link and use the code SAVE3 when you sign up for a new crate, and we get a little bit of we get noticed as the ones that sent you that way and get a little money, and you get to get a monthly subscription crate of the coolest shit ever. Like what Lowdown is dancing in front of the camera is this awesome Predator opener that was from what
Bottle opener.
bottle
Words.
opener from like
Words.
2 months
Actually,
ago.
May I see that?
This was this was the month before last.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing this. No.
I need to use it.
I just got my crate where
You didn't
it,
give them a
it
bottle
had,
opener, dude. What a dick.
I
we got
didn't think
nothing.
that
We don't
far.
even have coasters.
Toss
No
it.
pens.
There we go.
We're
All right,
Jesus Christ.
It's fine. It's fine.
Hey,
Last
I would
month-
have knocked over the mic.
Last month was I just got my crate where it had this amazing Stranger Things shirt that was like an X-Men mashup
That's like
thing.
the best shirt.
It's the best shirt ever. X-Files pencils. There was a Jessica Jones
Figurine.
figurine that was
Batman
fantastic. Batman mug that is heat activated where the bat
fucking
signal.
Have you used it with coffee yet?
Not yet. No,
Okay.
I haven't had a chance yet, but it's fantastic. Every month, even if there's stuff that is not my bag as far as nerddom goes, it's gifts. You just save it. I've given it out to panelists or for birthdays and all that shit. Like, you just have a little bit of backup. I know Grutz has like a chest full of shit that he finds throughout the year that he saves and just gives it out on birthdays and anniversaries and shit.
Here's some shit.
It's a way for you to be as fucking weird as
It's
Grutz
actually
by
really
just
smart.
having a backup of just shit where, oh, fuck, I forgot it was that person's birthday. Well, I have this Simpsons wallet. You know, like you can just have stuff on hand for your friends if
And it
you're not
was lucky
into
that
it.
I had a shit ton of stuff for her on her birthday a few days ago, because my ass was fucking like with my leg up, like immobilized for a couple days.
Yeah.
She had to take care of me on her birthday. So, I
You just gave her all the
I
things.
just gave her all the gifts. I was like, here you go. Sorry.
Thank you. And through the Loot family of products, you can also outfit your pets. And my dog is wearing a Deadpool t-shirt right now.
Yes.
Thanks, Loot Pets.
Loot Pet is also through the Loot Crate family. Just make sure you go through the link on our friends and sponsors page at GUIPodcast.com.
Interesting fact that I learned, article where one of the biggest questions about Deadpool was whether or not he could regrow his dick if it got severed or cut off.
Okay.
And the creator actually answered that question. He said he could regrow it anytime he wants. I don't know. You just said Deadpool, and I've been dying to put that fact out there.
All right.
That's
Holding
been
it
at
for
the
so
top
long.
of your list of Deadpool trivia.
I just read it right before this, right before the podcast, and I was waiting for a Deadpool, anybody to say Deadpool.
All right, now on to what we're here for, which is not Deadpool's
wait.
dick
Are we
trivia.
limited to like time here?
Yeah,
I'm
we are
sorry.
a little
I've been
bit.
waiting to hear about Deadpool's dick for weeks now, months, maybe
Hey,
years.
Drax would be interested. All right.
Drax
go.
would definitely be interested.
you go.
Good segue. There's a very much a different way that the characters were handled in Volume 1 versus Volume 2 of Guardians of the Galaxy. And we're going to talk a little bit at first about the first Guardians, but first off, and again, spoilers for anybody that has not seen Volume 2, was there any character that you felt was a major departure from their character in the first Guardians?
In terms of the way they acted it?
Yeah, the way the character was portrayed. Not the acting necessarily, but the way that the development of the character, if there was a major departure from how you considered that character from the first one.
Drax, hands down.
Yeah, probably Drax.
Because every other scene, he was fucking laughing his ass
fucking
off.
ass off, yeah.
Like he was high, he was just the whole time.
Yeah, honestly, the second one is the Drax show. I mean, like the first one, he's angry and you get a few things here or there, but it's almost like they made up for Groot not doing the Groot stuff as much with Drax. Just honestly, his shit's hilarious throughout the entire movie. So, like, he's the best part of it.
I appreciate the fact that Dave Bautista really, not only did he deliver in the first one, but I think he really delivered in the second one.
Well, I feel like they gave him a little bit more room on the second one.
Yeah.
The first one, he had very specific lines that he delivered, and he did a great job at that. He did his goddamn job well.
Yes, he did.
But this one, it felt like they gave some breathing room to the character. He was able to kind of like get some air around his scenes where it wasn't just a quick cut of him being like, nothing goes over my head, I would catch it. You know, and then they cut away. Like, there's this, like, it's his scene.
Do you think they were kind of cautious in the first one with him being a wrestler and giving him too much material? I mean, not everybody's Roddy Piper and can,
Maybe.
I'm just saying, like, all right, we got
like it,
like
sir.
a few lines, so.
Or The Rock.
Or The Rock, yeah. But The Rock...
Knocked
Rock
it out.
gets a lot of fuck.
Hold on. Roddy Piper knocked it out his first go around, all right?
Yeah,
Straight
sure.
up.
And nothing gets better than Hell Comes to Frogtown. I
There
mean,
you
that's
go.
really his...
You goddamn right.
The Rock,
Yes,
the
the
Rock
might
had
have
the
been
Scorpion
referencing-
King.
I might have been referencing They Live, but yeah, that's I forget about.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell Comes to
No,
Frog
but they
Town.
live.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They live.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They live. Well, yeah, I was just going to piggyback on what he already said, but he said it before I got
Oh, okay,
there,
fair enough. But yeah, Batista, I got to meet him after the first Guardians at Wizard World when that was still a thing that happened in Richmond.
Yeah.
And he was the most soft-spoken dude. It was actually surprising. It was like the gentle giant, where in front of us in line was this like 6-7-year-old kid that was a wrestling fan that had like wrestling stuff, and was super nervous to meet Batista, who's this like Jack Diesel cut motherfucker, and also apparently has like dermal implants and stuff under his tattoos. I noticed that when we
Holy
went and met
shit.
him. Yeah, I didn't realize that. But I guess maybe that's why they did his ink the way they did in Guardians, so it kind of covered that up. I don't know, but he was super soft spoken. He like shook the kid's hand and then like held it for a minute as he was talking to him like he was a politician, was asking questions of the kid, spent 5 minutes talking to this little kid who was just like ready to cry with joy the entire time.
Aww.
And was telling him like, you do what you want to do. Like you want to do that thing. Cool. That's awesome. You got to work hard.
Did
But
he
if you
seem-
work hard, you're going to do it. He was amazing.
So, in today's stunning display of my ignorance, I loved him in the first movie. I loved him in the second movie. Tonight, Anthony revealed to me that he was a wrestler because I did not know that. I didn't know at all.
Yeah.
So that was a surprise. I thought he was a legit actor. Like, he did a really good job. I was
he's
very
great.
surprised.
He's absolutely great. But I think that partially comes with the right character for the wrestler, and honestly the right director.
Yep. He's actually also in the that reboot they did of Kickboxer.
Oh,
He
that's
plays-
right.
He plays. So he's got this long ass ponytail. He basically plays Tom Poe, but he's not Tom Poe. It's fucking yeah.
He's gonna be in the new Blade Runner.
Yes.
Is he?
No shit.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
and he was Inspector too.
Oh yeah.
Is he going to be like the Jack Diesel replicant?
I'm
No,
hoping
he's going to be the skinny replicant.
Yeah.
No, I'm
the
saying,
shy
is he a
guy.
replicant or not?
I imagine. I mean, we haven't seen much of any of him in the trailer. Maybe like a frame or something, and
Yeah.
but yeah.
How could he not be? I mean,
He's
a guy
huge.
like that size, in that world? No.
I just want him sat down. I was like, how do you feel about turtles? And he was like, fuck. And just starts fucking shit up
He doesn't shoot the guy. He flips the fucking table and pile drives him.
with the guy on top of it, just like out a window.
No, I didn't see it, but did anybody here see the last Bond movie? Because apparently he was the main.
He was the henchman.
Yeah, he was great in that too.
Yeah. See, I hadn't seen that, so I
Yeah,
didn't know.
The movie not so much. He was great.
There's
Yeah.
moments of that movie I appreciate because it gets a little more wackadoo, like old school style Bond, but it's fun. I enjoyed it. It was a nice in between of like as serious as Skyfall was versus like the silliness of the earlier Bond movies. It's a
Okay.
nice kind of right in between movie.
So it was kind of like half Moonraker and half
not quite
Sky-
Moonraker. That's
No,
like
that's
my
insane.
that's full
Yeah.
But
silly.
it comes down to like they came off. They were using the same Bond, so they didn't change actors yet, and they were coming right off Skyfall. So for me, it was like that's just a lot to live up
Carry
to.
over and have a
Yeah.
totally different tone. Yeah.
Right. And for a guy like that to come from, the arena where he's basically performing, exaggerating everything to the max, to be on screen to play a character that's supposed to be very not logical, just literal. And the way he played it in this film versus the last one was a completely different performance.
Sure.
Yes, it was.
You have to give him props for being able to do that. That's really difficult.
He was limited in the first film because his character was, in a sense, kind of one-dimensional. He was bent on revenge. That's all he was doing. And yes, there was humor. I mean, he was kind of the part of the comic relief in that movie, in the first one. But the second film, they really toned back on the vengeance end, and he was just like the angry, literal monster, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, because his vengeance had been realized, so that freed him up, right?
Not entirely, because at the end of the first Guardians, he talks about that Thanos is the one that really set it in
Exactly.
motion.
Thank
Oh,
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
truth.
And really,
truth.
the real moment, I thought this was an incredibly well done moment in Guardians 2, was when he's sitting next to Manus and he's calling her ugly, and they're having that moment where it's very, very funny. But she puts her hand on him as he's talking about his daughter, who was as innocent as she was, and immediately tears start streaming down her face, where here's this man who is reminiscing, and he's got kind of a slight grin on his face as he's thinking about his family, and he's learned to accept his pain. He's learned to live with it, where he's been dealing with this for years, but here's a person that for the first time feels that emotion for the first time, and she's destroyed by it, where she immediately is giving up her master, like immediately, like, oh, by the way, shit's fucked up here, like immediately on his side. And that's just something about Drax, where he's walking with that weight every day, but he's laughing the entire movie. He's working through it with that weight on his shoulders.
Well, I think killing Lee Pace really
Ronan
Ronan
Yeah,
really
yeah,
took
yeah.
the edge off, though. I think it really took the edge.
Partial
helped.
closure.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about the character in the second film, which I enjoyed his scenes, but he had no motivation. And you could say it was Thanos, but that was spoken about in the first film. That you didn't hear shit about that in this film.
You hear nothing about Thanos.
Exactly.
At
So,
all.
you heard about Gamora. She's talking to her sister about the abuse.
That was about their emotional bullshit they grew up growing up with. That wasn't about future killing Thanos.
No, I agree, but that was never spoken about. So whatever his purpose was in the first film, as they ended it off of going after Thanos, they didn't have it in this film.
Yeah, there was
They
nothing.
left that out. So he had no purpose. Although with that said, family. That was the kind of the core of the entire thing was family.
Oh, like
We're
they
gonna
hit you
learn
over the head with that shit.
right.
The
They're
entire
not
movie.
learning how to be a family. They're learning how to stay a family.
See, that's the whole thing, though. Is I think he was kind of, like I was saying, the Groot kind of replacement in this one, where he kind of took second stage, but he was the comedy relief. The fact that he has no filter when, they first get to Ego's planet and he's talking about stuff, and he's like, what about this whole penis thing? And like literally,
Yeah.
no filter at all.
shit was funny.
That was fucking amazing.
That shit was fucking funny.
Can we talk about the penis? And everyone's like, what the fuck, dude?
No, if it was a planet, it was musher.
Well, and just because they didn't talk about Thanos much in this one, I mean, clearly they're probably planning to have more movies. So you got to leave something to
Yeah,
do.
no,
the
but the next one
Avengers.
is Avengers, and so like that's the big thing.
Yeah.
So
Well, that
he is the next movie.
exactly,
I mean, yeah.
like Thanos is the next movie, and they did nothing to lead in, which they are the
Really?
Universal space tie-in
I
to the
did not
movie.
know this.
Yeah.
There are many gaps in my knowledge.
so as one of the post-credit scenes, if you sat through them all, you got to the spoiler alert: the Adam Warlock.
That was a
supposes-
shitty way too.
Oh, it was lazy.
terrible.
I thought they would do it a little bit better than that, but he's not going to apparently be in the Avengers Infinity War.
They're saying Guardians 3 is the first time that he's showing up.
Right.
Yeah.
It is his race, though. I mean, like, as much as people are bitching about the cocoon,
I get
that
it.
is his specific race, so it
But
makes more sense.
That was already Easter egg in the first one.
But it
when
makes
he's at the
more
collection.
sense in this one than the first one.
Here's the thing: is that James Gunn has said even before Guardians 2 was in production, right after Guardians, that cocoon was not meant to be an Easter egg for Adam Warlock.
Right.
Yeah.
He made a mistake.
Yeah, they
It's
made a
bunch-
mistake.
It's a bunch of gold motherfuckers. Adam Warlock is a gold motherfucker. It makes more sense in this than like the collector having. I got this thing in the back.
It makes sense, but his involvement in the whole Infinity War situation should be paramount, but it's not now.
That's
Yeah.
the thing is like we haven't even gone close to the Soul Gem, and that's his shit. That's his whole thing. That's just like having an adamantium related storyline that doesn't involve Wolverine. Like it just wouldn't make fucking
How are
sense.
you going to have an Infinity War with Infinity Gauntlet without his fucking gem?
Yeah.
There's still a Thor movie.
I want to say this is that as much as I've appreciated a lot of the other MCU movies, I really like the fact that Guardians of the Galaxy is kind of on its own for now. And I know they're going to integrate it, and I think that's actually going to take away from some of it, because the fact that Guardians has been its own thing, it's a much lesser known property that nobody fucking knew about. I didn't ever read any of the comics. And James Gunn knocked it out of the fucking park because it was a lesser known product. They threw money at it, and it did really well the first one. It got a great fucking sequel, but like I almost don't want it to integrate with everything else.
I really agree with him, because having just shown my ass as not knowing much about this entire universe, and then you guys spoke a language I didn't understand for about 3 minutes. I really appreciated this movie and Deadpool because they have been the most accessible comic book movies for me until they make me a passable Sandman.
Well, and here's kind of where I'm thinking they're going with Guardians is that they've announced that there's a Guardians 3. They did that like
And that he was
immediately.
attached.
But guess what they haven't done? They haven't announced a single Earth-based superhero movie past the Infinity Wars, like the two movies. So they don't have anything on the plate. They don't have a Hulk movie, an Iron Man movie, Captain America. They got nothing. And part of that might be planning where they don't want people to know who lives and who dies. But the other part of it is they realize with contracts coming up for Captain America and Iron Man and Thor, and that the success of Guardians gives a full opportunity for maybe taking it off Earth for a little bit and giving Earth a breather and going more with the cosmic, where Guardians is the Iron Man of the Marvel cosmic universe, especially with Star Wars being in play now. Cosmic is where everything is going. You're getting movies like The Arrival and Passengers and stuff where it's a lot more about aliens and stuff like that. Everything comes in ebbs and flows, and Marvel has properties that they can do. Marvel has plenty of cosmic. So I think the real trick is that they're introducing Guardians in Infinity Gauntlet as a way to kind of almost pass the baton from the major Marvel universe being Earth-based into what Guardians is now, which is the cosmic.
Right, and that goes along with what he was saying, where nobody knew anything about Guardians of the Galaxy. Not a lot of people. And when it came out, it was that sort of Matrix effect where you didn't really know what you were going into, but after you saw it, you were fucking blown back. You didn't quite know what to think. And that's the entire purpose behind it coming to screen, was that was their way of testing we're moving it to space. We're going to move it to something bigger. If this fails, we probably won't be able to do that.
Yeah.
I think they were hinging on that.
Isn't the Black Panther movie slated for after the Infinity Wars? That's Earthbound.
Is that after?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's after the Infinity Wars.
Is that after?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
There's
is.
also Spider-Man to consider too.
Well, it sounds like
and the Spider-Man. They're like, it's not like Disney's going to do Homecoming and then we're done with Spider-Man. Like know.
Well, honestly, then that kind of they said that the reason why they changed the names was because they're two entirely different movies.
Mm-hmm.
If Black Panther takes place after Infinity Wars, is it the first one or the second one that's Infinity Wars? And they said that the other one
First one's
changed-
Infinity Wars.
Okay, so it sounds like maybe they go more cosmic, where because of Doctor Strange or something, the heroes go out into the cosmic universe and then they meet the Guardians and all that stuff to prevent Thanos from coming to Earth. And then after Black Panther and everything is when they're actually protecting Earth from Thanos at that point. So
If Marvel really wants to mix it up and do something interesting, they should fucking pony up the money with all the money that they fucking have and get Silver Surfer and integrate that with fucking, because that's connected to the Guardians. You know,
But honestly, Fox has not done shit as far as trying to work out with MCU. But this just clicked in my head. It seems kind of obvious that Black Panther is getting its own movie after the first Infinity Wars, and we're talking about the Soul Gem still being lost. That seems like it would be obviously in Wakanda, and that's the bringing it around to it being an Earth-based battle, where the first one is Thanos rising to power with all but one of the gems, and the Avengers meet up with the Guardians to try to basically prevent him from getting it, and then the second one is him going to Earth to try to find this, and there's a straight up like on Earth massive devastation battle. I mean,
So and correct me if I'm wrong, because you guys may be more in tune with the original comic, but he had to have all 5 to gain the type of power that he had.
Yes.
yeah, but the type of power is like basically like up there with and I don't know what you know about the Celestials, like eternity and time.
Yes. Well, he controls them all.
Yeah, but
Right,
when you
he's
have the
omnipotent.
Infinity Gauntlet,
Yes.
basically they're not fucking with you. Like you're in charge of all the shit.
Right. So they can't. They I don't see how they can do the Infinity War movies and have 2 $500 million movies and then have Black Panther, unless Black Panther's in between them. Is it?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
in between.
in between.
So
Infinity
it's
Wars
directly
and
in between.
the second one.
Okay.
Yes.
And so is Ant-Man
He's
and
a
Wasp.
summer release. Yes.
Ant-Man, Wasp.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That
Yeah, from my understanding, I think the Black Panther movie is supposed to be more of a standalone. From what I'm understanding, I would be fucking shocked as shit if either in the movie or end credits of Thor, which is in November, which is the last big Marvel movie before Avengers, if they don't give you that last stone. I mean, pretty much it takes place
how?
off planet.
Adam Warlock.
It takes place off planet.
planet,
You've
yeah.
got all kinds of races. If it's following pretty much Planet Hulk, you're going to have enough motherfuckers on there. Somebody's going to have that goddamn gem. I'm telling you, it's the last major Marvel movie before.
No, I know it's the last major Marvel movie.
There's no
Yeah.
way they're going to leave that unturned. They're going to have that already show up.
So
I have in my hand right now a bet that I made with one of our regular listeners and also regular at the Wonderland trivia, where he made a bet with me where I said that Adam Warlock would show up in Guardians of the Galaxy, and he said the first appearance would be in Ragnarok. And we bet $1, and he wrote, Adam Warlock will be in Thor Ragnarok on the dollar as a reminder of what this is about. So this is now my dollar, Rob.
But Adam
And I
Warlock
want to
himself
make just a
didn't show
public
up.
announcement. I won $1 on that.
Adam
fucking
Warlock
bet.
himself didn't show up.
It still counts, man. It's this cocoon.
Right.
It was
But
called
it's not
Adam.
Adam Warlock.
It's
like you don't.
They're not showing us much from the trailer.
and they're not
Exactly.
going to
It's a
show
cut
actual.
scene.
They're
It's
not
a
going to show
cut scene.
actual Adam Warlock until Guardians 3. So we would both be wrong. The
There you
first
go.
appearance
So you
of
both
Adam
lose.
Warlock.
That's the whole point of the cutscenes, is to do a very easy, simple way of connecting one thing to another.
Exactly.
And cheap. To do this one little post-credit scene. That's the genius of it. They connect them all through these little cheap scenes that they film real quick. Some of them are pretty quickly put together in order to tie it in. And I totally agree. If he's going to be in it, or if he's going to be any movie, he's going to be in that. Because like you said, it's off-world. It's in space. It's dealing with several realms. and it's going to bring people into play. And I don't see how the Sovereign. I mean, they could probably pull it in one way or another.
Also, one thing I got to say about the Sovereign is, aside from their leading up to revealing that Adam Warlock is in process, was unnecessary. It was bullshit. Like they did nothing.
That was a quick scene. I
They
guarantee you
they were the
put
thing that was
together
hunting them.
quickly.
Well, but it was the thing that was hunting them, but they didn't really do shit. There was the cool like quantum asteroid field, which was really cool, but
Yeah.
that could have been anything. It didn't need to be an entire like it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was an unnecessary plot point. Even when they came in at the end, where they're trying to like drill into like the brain of Ego,
Right.
and they show up, it's like this like. Oh, fuck. And they deal with it by basically like jacking Nebula into the mining equipment. And then they're like, oh, you're all dead. Anyway, and then just move on with the plot.
Yeah.
It actually drags the plot along by involving the Sovereign.
It's definitely a weak
I
part
agree.
of it.
I agree. It was a weak part of it.
Yeah.
All because Rocket stole some fucking batteries.
And that's the whole thing. Is that was kind of a throwaway part,
It was
and then it comes
that-
back
that
as a major
whole-
plot point.
Yeah.
That whole plot point was, you could have taken that out and really focused on the development of the main storyline a lot more. It just felt really kind of pushed.
You know, James Gunn said that recently that Adam Warlock originally was a big part of the script. So I guarantee you, if they had to cut a lot of things out, including him, story-wise, that was probably the only thing they could keep in as far to keep the flow of the story.
Yeah.
What,
was
the
to keep the
Sovereign?
Sovereign in there because he was originally in there to begin with.
Speaking of shit that got cut out, we were denied motherfucking Nathan Fillion.
I
who
know.
was supposed to
Yes.
be goddamn Wonder Man,
Right?
Simon Williams, and they cut that out.
That's right.
And
They even cut out the
Why?
scenes where it had posters of him.
in which there's literally a Tony Stark movie, a poster of him playing Tony Stark. It's a biopic about that in the fucking movie. So, goddamn, I hope it's on the bonus deleted.
It's got to
scene.
be.
It's got to
I mean,
be.
they're
For
buddies.
Yeah.
They're straight up buddies.
Yeah.
There's
But
no way
that,
that's
I
not
read
on.
that and I was like, motherfucker, man.
To the point where James Gunn is such a good buddy where there might be like a separate bonus feature of like the guy who got cut, the Nathan Fillion story, where they talk about his
Exactly.
character, because that's an actual character in the Marvel universe. I mean, and that got cut out completely.
Speaking of like cuts, did anybody else feel like some of that humor cut into the storyline versus actually
Yes.
being funny?
Agreed.
Yes.
I don't think that it was
Whereas
necessarily.
the first one flowed 100%. I literally have zero complaints about the first one.
The first one's fluid.
It's exactly 100% perfect.
The way I would say it is, in the first one, the comedy decorated the storyline, whereas this one, it felt like that the storyline came to a screeching halt for people to have dialogue with each other, which I'm all about dialogue. I know Jodi also is a big dialogue fan as well. I have no problem with that happening. And let's say in the first Guardians, where there are a bunch of assholes standing in a circle, the plot comes to a screeching halt, but it's at the appropriate time where they're basically kind of like in a huddle trying to figure out what to do.
Right.
And it's appropriate. But there's multiple moments where it's in the middle of action sequence stuff where they stop and they have like fucking conversation with each other and long jokes like Star-Lord trying to find tape.
Yeah.
And you're waiting for like a minute and a half to hear him in the background like, Drax, you got any tape? No, okay. Ow, I got hit. And you hear audio shit happening where you're just watching Rocket be like, okay, it fucked with the pacing.
There's multiple scenes like that,
Yeah.
but that is one of the good examples. Who had it? Grutz.
It
Grutz
was
did.
Jodi first.
Oh, was it?
I forfeit.
Okay.
Whatever.
All right, go.
All right. Hey, as far as pacing goes, I think the second one, the second act, kind of really slowed down. There was a long enough pause. You know, the first movie had a nonstop sort of progression from scene to scene.
Yes.
Which was, like you said, very fluid. And, you know, so it was action, there was some drama, there's some, you know, nice moments, comedic moments, and it kept progressing, and it was tight. The editing was tight. I think this is, you know, they tried to include too much in this movie, and you know, some of the character development was a little bit clunky, which is why this movie, although I really dug it, it's not as good as the first.
No.
Agreed.
And yeah,
And that boils down to the super long, unnecessary dialogue where, you know, where they go, hey, here's a giant fucking monologue about how I feel. But what I really meant to say is, here's another giant monologue about how I feel. And if that didn't fucking suit you, guess what? The next scene, I'm going to tell you how I feel, and so on. every other scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is very true.
James Gunn's wheelhouse is taking the expected and then changing it. Like in the first one, when Star-Lord starts dancing, and literally you have your villain, he's like, what? Like,
What are you doing?
Like, what are you doing?
Which is the best look of the entire movie, where he's just like confused, like he's not even angry anymore. He's just super confused. Like, I just said I dropped this gem and then I kill the world, and you're just like, dance party.
That's like the best.
Bro.
That's the best thing that James Gunn does.
Yeah.
He does it a little bit in the second one, specifically when you have Taserface, who's going on his bad guy.
It's
thing,
metaphorical.
And literally, he has his henchmen, and he's like, "Wah!" And all of a sudden, all the henchmen start cracking up because it's fucking
It's a
Taserface.
Yeah.
But that joke with Rocket and him in the dialogue with the Taserface joke, that just
It
drugged
started
the
up.
fuck
It
out.
started up
That
good,
was
and then it went
long-winded.
on too long.
Oh.
I think you have the henchmen crack up because they also think Taserface is fucking ridiculous, and then move on. And
No,
they went
they didn't.
another
That's
2 to 3
perfectly
minutes
the
on
point. Like the Groot jokes with the desk. You know, when he's trying to find the fin, it was funny. It was definitely a funny
it.
scene.
2 items and move on.
But that's the thing, is it just kind of
Didn't we
drags a
see
little
that
bit.
in a Beethoven movie? I don't.
You watch Beethoven movies?
I
think it was the third one.
That's no excuse. Don't freaking expose your child to that trash cinema.
That's all I've got. Okay, I got
But
a
no,
5-year-old.
but there are multiple jokes like that. Where they're in the ship and they make a joke and like Rocket retaliates with like, you're supposed to say it in a sarcastic voice. It's like, why are you explaining the fucking joke within the joke? It's fucking stupid, man.
Let's talk about Little Baby Groot really quick. The opening scene, although truly adorable, really was. Loved it until it went on like fucking 10 minutes too long. But everything else that little bastard did by beating up Drax every time he was around him, just fucking angry, loved it.
Yeah.
That is one issue I did have with the intro scene was that
Lasso?
you had Drax land after getting thrown by this tentacled monster right in front of Groot, who was dancing, and they try to do an homage to the original cutscene from the first movie, where he looks at him and he stops dancing. That makes no fucking sense
Honestly,
in that fucking part of the goddamn movie.
That actually bothered me a little bit.
God
but
damn it.
We're gonna get more into that and really get into
Fucking angry.
Are you turning green over here?
we're gonna get into a
Loud noises.
real comparison on the first and the second Guardians after the break. But before we continue, we're going to break. We're gonna be back in just a minute after a message from friends of the show. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, thank you for watching the GUI podcast. This is Nick from Instant Replay Live. I get plugged here a lot, and I'm being allowed to do it myself this time. I'm going to plug myself as much as I can. You can check out our Twitter at INST Replay Live. I'm going to plug myself again. I'm plugging myself in front of all these guys right here. You can find us on YouTube if you search for Instant Replay Live, or youtube.com/c/Instant Replay Live, or at InstantReplayLive.com. We do video games, we do tabletop role-playing games, and we do reviews and all kinds of other stuff. So check us out.
Totsky from the YMN podcast. Big fans of the Geeks Under the Influence. Talk about all the same shit, so definitely check us out. YMNpodcast.com.
This is Mike the Hobbit, direct from Fallout on a trivia night, telling you to come here every first and third Monday for trivia between 8 and 10, 25-cent wings, drink specials, prizes, and tons of really inappropriate trivia. It's a lot of fun. Do you guys agree? Definitely come out and enjoy trivia every first and third Monday at Fallout. In addition to Fallout, Geeks Under the Influence takes over Wonderland on the corner of 18th and Main Street for Geeks Under the Influence trivia, ridiculous trivia, goofy music, great food, cheap drinks. 1727 East Main. Come and check us out 8 to 10 every second and fourth Tuesday. We are back for the second half of our Geeks Under the Influence Guardians of the Galaxy episode. And as always, we've done a little bit of drinking on the second half before we get on the patio before we got into the second half. Anthony is reaching for his bottle of, was it Kappogue?
Kappogue Castle.
Nappogue?
I think that's how it's pronounced.
Sounds like an Irish punk band.
Well, not to be confused with the Pogues Irish whiskey, which they released for the actual band.
Oh, nice.
That
nice.
exists.
Hell yeah.
I haven't tried it yet.
If you guys are unfamiliar with the second half, what we're getting into now is What We Are Drinking, which we totally need a theme song for What We Are Drinking. I'm not going to put the effort in to do that. No, I'm asking our panelists, our listeners and watchers, that if you want to put together a what we are drinking like musical rendition thing for us, much like some of my favorite podcasts do, we'll play that before we do a what we're drinking. So it'll be on every episode if you do a good, cool, fun thing.
We can't just make Smash just do one impromptu like right now and then like.
Okay, well, tell you what, that'll be our starter, and
All
if
right.
anyone makes something, that will take over what Kyle's doing.
I think we
So-
should just do use a clip from Six Pack. Can someone get in touch with Rollins?
Yeah, and make sure Rollins.
You'll be fine with that.
Perfect.
Make sure Straight Edge Rollins is cool with a drinking podcast using one of his
Hey,
songs.
he had a song called Six Pack. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Making fun of people that drink too much.
Yeah, but
Kyle
still.
Smash, if you want to do like a 4 or 5 second like doopity doo jingle for what we are drinking, everybody else be quiet and go.
Doopity-doo jingle.
Do a doopity doo.
Hey,
Just
we're
some-
fucking drinking. We're getting drunk. You want to know? Well, here you go.
There we go.
I knew he was the good one.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, here you go.
Wow.
So what I'm gonna do actually is we'll do a combo platter. I will separate his audio and clean it up a bit, and then I'll release that as a ringtone adjacent to this episode. So if you're listening, check out our downloads. Download the Kyle Smash So Here You Go ringtone, and then put some music to it. Make it funky, make it jazzy, make it punky.
Funky.
Make it funky.
Really put it.
How do you make that funky?
Here you go.
I need to hear some funky Smash.
Yeah.
Remix the shit out of that.
Yeah, remix the shit out of it.
Oh.
But now
Please don't do auto tune.
into what we're drinking. First up, Mr. Lowdown Brown was nice enough to bring a tasty little beverage for us. What did you bring for the panel?
I brought a quad ale named Terrible by
It's terrible.
Terrible. They're French. They don't say Terrible.
They're actually Belgian, I think.
So Le Fin du Monde is Belgian.
Yeah.
Le Fin du Monde is by Unibroue, which is Canadian.
Yeah. Unibroue.
Oh, no.
Unibroue made Terrible.
French Canadian.
My bad.
French Canadian. Thank you. Unibroue made Terrible. So German, know your role and drink your Irish whiskey.
I thought it was those Trappist monks. Those guys.
It's all confusing.
It's a quad. It's coming in at a dick kicker level of 10.2. Kyle Smash can verify that.
Where was it? Yep.
10.5.
Yeah, I think it's it's a 10.5.
10.5.
Whew.
That's right.
So yeah, this is definitely in dick kicker.
dick kicker level.
Anytime you go double digits on the ABV, then you're looking at dick kicker.
This is
And
damn tasty.
It's very good, but you can tell that this has got some punch to it. I mean, it's not a secret that this is going to put your dick in the dirt.
Your dick's going deep in the
It's going
yeah.
super deep in the dirt.
whole
Yeah.
4 inches.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Oh, white people.
but it's good. It's
Hey, buddy, listen, all right?
See?
Yeah.
Well, where did it say?
Let's not compare penis sizes, okay?
I definitely get that there's a reasonable amount of alcohol on the opening. Like it's not hiding that all that terribly well.
Oh, I'm in
So
pain.
you take a break from dad jokes and you come back with that? Go
With that,
fucking kill yourself.
that's my starter
Go
on
kill
this.
yourself.
It doesn't attack your mouth, that's for sure.
No. But that the malt is there, but it's not overly present. It's rich. It's definitely a rich beer.
Yeah, it's very rich. Very rich. Very hearty. Yeah.
I'd say almost almost a little bit of licorice.
Yeah.
You can see the
I'd
licorice.
say that
in
on
there.
the I'd say that though it's kind of like
towards the finish, I would say.
I was going to say on the back end.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, definitely.
Yep. Delicious.
Not overly lingering finish, but it's definitely it's not dissipating on the finish.
No. But it does go away. So when you get to the next sip, you're like, oh, there's that.
There
Yeah.
it is. There it is.
Yeah,
There's the
yeah.
punch.
Not overbearing. At
It's
all.
not the greatest brew we've had, I will say, but I
But
am enjoying
it's solid.
this. I'm enjoying
Ooh,
this.
definitely. Like after most of the flavors go away, you
Yeah.
get that kind of ropey black licorice kind of flavor, kind of lingering.
I could see that making you sick after enough.
I would say that this being in a 750 bottle is about the right size.
That's
for
more than
this.
enough.
Like that's more than enough.
That's
for
enough
this
to
beer.
hate your life the next day.
That's the thing. It's gonna tank you pretty hard on this. The next one that was brought was put in a crowler, as they call it, a can growler, by a local brewery, Isley Brewing Company, which has, in my personal opinion, some of the best beer in town. Absolutely love it. And yeah, very East Coast local. It's like a mile and a half from here. And and I love this place. I love Isley. They make some really good beer. Not just this one, though. This is definitely their flagship. This is what they're known for. This is the Choosey Mother, and this is chosen because my girlfriend left it in the fridge, and B, also because Quill's mother maybe should have been more choosy about her partner.
Oh no, she fell in love with the spaceman.
Fell in love with a spaceman.
Fell in love with the spaceman.
Angel.
She was also very choosy when picking out the playlist for all of the Guardians movies.
Very true.
Yeah,
Very specific about that.
yeah, super specific about it.
I will say the soundtrack is probably better on the first one too, though.
It's almost like she knew what was going to happen.
I will say the cool thing is that James Gunn is not the one responsible for the soundtracks. The songs were picked out by his mother. He actually touched base with her and asked her what would be like the perfect like road music or adventure music from her era of music that she listened
Why
to.
try to interpret?
And he took that into account and then figured out the right playlist and wrote around it in a lot of cases, like the Brandy involvement, like where that's actually part of the storyline.
I know we were talking shit about the scene a little bit, but I fucking love Mr. Blue Sky. So when that was playing, that song is fucking amazing. Like most of the ELO stuff, you have to have something in there.
Yeah, the one song that I almost guaranteed would be on the Volume 2 that wasn't on there, that seems like a perfect choice for a Guardians movie, and so hopefully Volume 3, but Black fucking Betty
Yes.
is a straight up
Yes.
Guardians
Why the
song.
fuck isn't that in there, right? No shit. Like when they're there was no gearing up moment. Like the first one you had Cherry Bomb for like the gear up moment. Black Betty's like a perfect gear up song.
That's exactly the scene
Right?
where they're like
Exactly.
getting their shit together, getting
Yes.
ready.
They didn't
had
have
the-
that in this movie.
You had
It was-
the Fleetwood Mac song during the slow motion.
Yeah.
That's-
What was that? What was that? What was the Fleetwood Mac song? Chains.
The dance. I don't know. I don't like.
I just remember it was Fleetwood Mac.
But no, but this song. It starts off slow. And then it builds up on.
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
You could have
But-
totally had that song also in the opening credits with Baby Groot dancing.
Yeah.
What was that? What was that song?
Oh, that
That's
was
Mr.
Boom,
Blue
boom,
Sky.
boom,
That's what I'm
boom,
saying.
Blue Sky. Yeah,
It
yeah,
is Mr. Blue Sky.
Yeah.
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 That's a good
That was
fucking
good.
song.
It was
It really is.
What was the song when they were like leaving the ship going onto Eagle's planet? Like I know that song, but
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anybody else out there?
Here's the thing:
know,
the
please
soundtrack is
post.
very solid for Volume 2, but it's not touching
Volume
Volume 1.
man.
Yeah.
I think
No.
You had fucking Al Green on Volume
Yeah.
1.
Well,
I
that's
was-
Not Al Green. What the fuck was his name? Brain
Marvin
fart.
Gaye?
You know, Marvin Gaye. Yes, Marvin Gaye.
Oh man.
well. The thing about the first one is the element of surprise. Everybody, it had that Matrix feel. It was like,
Sure.
hey, that kind of looks good. We're gonna go see it. Holy fuck, that blew my, that blew me away.
But this is nowhere close to Matrix Reloaded on bad. Like,
Oh
that's-
god, one of the worst sequels ever.
No, this
Fucking
is
hell.
a much better sequel than any of those sequels.
Let's
will
have
ever
some like white boys and like white dreadlocks like chase people. Like,
be. Fuck the Rasta men.
but as I was saying, Choosey Mother, it's from Isley Brewing Company, and I don't know if it even has the ABVs on here. 6.6 ABV, so it's not a dick kicker.
Oh, but it's delicious.
Robust as shit. It's got a great mouthfeel. It's a peanut butter porter.
What does it have?
What?
A robust mouthfeel.
Oh,
that
a
ran-
robust mouthfeel.
This
yes.
with a good Robusto cigar?
Oh
Be-
fuck yes, dude.
Yes. Yes.
This very
Like
nice,
sauce.
solid, like girthy porter.
Ooh.
I'm just saying this to fuck with
I was
Jodi
gonna say,
at this
you're
point.
You've said mouthfeel, ropey, and girthy since we started back, and
I
just
feel like that was specific to target
That was
her as much
super,
as possible.
super
As
targeting.
As you're looking at her, as you're
Your
saying
cheeks
it.
turned really red too.
Oh, it's because I'm getting drunk.
Oh, is that what
yeah,
it is?
I've
Not
got-
excited, but you were getting drunk.
But the Choosey Mother, it's a peanut butter porter. It's not super peanut buttery like the Sweet Baby Jesus from Dewclaw. This is more like the red like skins on a peanut. You know that it's
Like Red Rocket.
yeah it's It's a very soft peanut buttery flavor, very malty. It's super approachable, very delicious.
Easy
In addition to that, real quickly before we continue,
Like peanut butter foreskin?
our regular panelist, Mr. Crump, the Velvet Hammer, stopped by before we started recording to drop off a birthday present for me, which was the Buffalo Trace bourbon, which is super hard to find apparently at this point.
Yes, it is.
It's just not in stores because the popularity is increased significantly, and they just don't have the supply to meet the demand. So that was my birthday gift from the man that knows bourbon better than anybody else on this panel. So I'm drinking on that Choosey Mother, the Terrible, and some High Life as well.
That
Because
sounds like an awful morning.
I
for
know
you.
my roots. Hey, I'm off tomorrow. I don't give a shit.
Enjoy.
But as far as the non-beer drinkers, let's go to them. What are we drinking on?
Well, I brought myself a single malt Irish whiskey called Kappogue Castle. It's aged. This particular one is aged in bourbon barrels. It's 12 years old. It's the idea was to buy a nice light spring summer whiskey, and of course it's been 50 degrees today and raining all fucking day in Richmond.
Much like Ireland.
Yeah, I guess so. So it's actually really good, and
Seattle.
I like it. It's smooth. You definitely get a little bit of that bourbon cask, note to it, but
It's delicious. That was really good.
it's good. It's
Yeah.
a little too easy to drink. It was on sale, and it's only
Yeah,
like
I had a
36
big
bucks,
mouthful of that
Nice.
earlier, and
Oh.
it was good.
Did you?
I love
You get
giving
a big mouthful.
I
There's a lot of
love
mouthfuls
giving you a
going on
mouthful,
tonight.
dude.
You do, except you're not Irish. So I had a mouthful of Irish whiskey. He is German,
From a
so
German.
he's lesser. The Irish, delicious.
Well, actually, I mean,
All right. We gotta.
Yeah.
We'll have
Yeah,
plenty of
master
coming in
race
each
and
other's
all,
mouths jokes.
Oh
coming
yeah, the
forward.
master race is bullshit.
Miss Yankee Blue Jeans, what are you drinking on tonight?
Well, I had a mouthful of Choosey Mother.
So is that
Hungry
is
Mother?
that a
You say
direct-
Hungry
is that a
Mother.
Clip? Are you gonna cut that?
No.
No, because I stammered. No, I had
It was
some
so
of the
tasty.
Choosey Mother. Hungry Mother is a state park back where I'm from, so
okay.
I said that for a reason.
Okay. All right.
But Choosey Mother was a lovely beer. It had a beer flavor with some interesting things in it, and beyond that, I'm having Bold Rock Virginia apple.
So the
East
Choosey
Coast
Mother, you wouldn't say
local.
is like a beer that you would actually appreciate necessarily.
I appreciated it in terms of beer.
It's a better beer flavor than some beers that
Like
you've had.
I said, it tasted like beer with some interesting
stuff in it.
things. Yes.
Okay. All right. Good
I'm
to
not
know.
going to get into mouthfeel. I found it to be sessionable in that I can take one mouthful in a session.
And there's your ringtone.
There you go. Good job.
No, that's
Good
actually
job.
that's too much. I'm not even gonna make
She's
that a
a
ringtone.
kind
I-
That's what she said.
No, that's I can't do that to Jodi. I can't make that a ringtone. I guess
Thank
just-
you.
said you
yeah,
love.
no, that's the whole. That's just too much. That's too much. I would feel super uncomfortable making that a ringtone. So I'm not gonna.
Thank you, honey.
Yeah, that's
I
just.
appreciate
That's
that.
understandable.
I want to taste it as one thing, but like,
Can you say that one more time slowly with a little sexiness? In
no,
your
no, we're
voice?
good. Guardians of the Galaxy. All right.
All right, so here we go. All right.
So the next one up is making a drunken scene. So first up, the theme music.
Making a drunken scene.
All right, and we're ready to go.
Fucking Kyle.
I love being able to post edit everything now.
Oh,
It's super great.
fucking.
So we've got a couple scenes from the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. There's not a whole lot in as far as reliable quotations from the second Guardians movie. So we're relying entirely on the first one. So the first one up is a scene that many of you may know from the escape scene from the prison in the first Guardians. So whenever you guys are ready, it starts off with Rocket. Who's Rocket?
Me.
Who's Gamora?
Me.
Who is Peter?
Me.
And is that it?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And whenever you guys are ready.
If we're going to get out of here, we need to get into that watchtower. And to do that, I'm going to need a few things. The guards wear security bands to control their ins and outs. I need one.
Leave it to me.
That dude there, I need his prosthetic leg.
His leg?
Yeah. God knows I don't need the rest of him. Look at him. He's useless.
All right.
And finally, on the back wall, there's a black panel. Blinky yellow light. You see it?
Oh, yeah.
Put Kool-Aid Man over there. The fuck?
Are you Macho Man Randy Savage?
It's more of a Kool-Aid Man situation happening there.
Oh, yeah.
There's a Quannex battery behind it. Purplish box. Green wires. To get into that watchtower, I definitely need it.
How are we supposed to do that?
Well, supposedly, these bald bodies find you attractive. So maybe you could work out some sort of trade.
Oh, you must be joking.
No, I really heard they find you attractive.
Look, it's 20 feet up in the air, and it's the middle of the most heavily guarded part of the prison. Hoo-ah. It's the impossible to get up there without being seen. Oh, yeah.
I got one plan, and that plan requires this freaking Quannex battery, so figure it out. Can I get back to it? Thanks. Jesus Christ. Now this is important. Once the battery's removed, everything is going to slam into emergency mode. Once we have it, we got to move quickly. So you definitely need to get to last. Or we could just get it first and improvise.
I'll get the armband.
Leg.
Okay, between blaxploitation Grutz and Uwa over here.
Just try to say my lines, all right?
No, the minute you started fucking doing that shit, like, both Jodi and I's eyes lit up. Because we went straight up like Hollywood Babylon and went to, like, Ralph Garman, like, Uwa.
I literally mouth Pacino at Mike.
That was like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropical.
Fuck.
Oh, shit.
The first couple lines are just Pacino lines. His leg, you know, just to ask for it.
All right.
All right.
All right, so the next scene, also from Guardians, this is the asshole standing in a circle scene. So everybody's familiar with this one. One of my favorite scenes. We talked about it right before the break, so this is perfect lead into the second scene. We've got Rocket. Who's Rocket?
Do we not have a rocket?
We don't have Rocket with that one.
I can. Do
Who am I-
you
who
want
am I-
it,
who
Steven,
am I
or
playing
you
and
want
what?
Gamora?
I'm doing Drax.
I totally forgot what one role I had. Was it Rocket that I was
do.
playing?
can
No,
do
you
Rocket
had,
as
you
well.
had Peter.
I got Peter.
I can do Rocket if we need Rocket.
I'm Peter in
And
this
you can
one,
do
right?
Gamora.
Okay.
You do.
Is that what we're doing?
You
do
do
Rocket. Make
Okay,
my Rocket ready.
and I'm Peter on the
All right.
second one, right? I'm not stepping on anybody?
No, you're
the
Peter on the second one, the one line.
Okay.
Let's see if I can do my Rocket. All right.
All right, so we got Lowdown is Rocket, I am Peter, and Gamora is...
Me.
And Drax. Who's Drax?
B.
Smash is Drax.
He's already in character.
Who apparently is
I'm not even trying to
do his, like, wearing shades, like, detective without any fucking rules, like 80s action movie Smash.
I'm not even trying to
I
do a
wish I had an
different
eye
voice,
patch
though,
right
because
now.
Rocket's voice is amazing. So
All right.
Yeah. Not even trying.
So, leading with Rocket, and whenever you're ready.
All right. But Quill, beating Ronan, it can't be done. You're asking us to die.
Yeah. I guess I am.
The fuck?
Quill, I've lived most of my life surrounded by my enemies. I will be grateful to die surrounded by my friends.
You're an honorable man. You're an honorable man, Quill. I will fight beside you, and in the end, I will see my wife and daughter again.
I am Grutz. Oh, what the hell? I don't got that long a lifespan anyway. Everyone stands up.
Yeah, we're all standing.
We're all standing.
At
Well, now I'm standing. Happy? We're all standing now. Bunch of jackasses standing in a circle.
You veered almost Pacino in the end there.
got
But see,
close.
that's
Kinda
like
got-
Bradley Cooper like channels part Pacino like for that role.
totally
Like
does.
honestly, he does.
He's probably drunk when he does it too.
No, I've seen some behind the scenes. He's sober. He's not.
No,
like,
it's
doing
it's like Pacino meets like something about Mary. Have you seen my baseball? Like if you combine the two together.
That came right out.
I don't know. Have you seen my penis?
Have you ever had a spit take before?
No, I think that's actually the first spit take that we've had.
Holy shit!
Did you literally spit?
No, I caught it.
Okay.
I caught it.
Fuck.
Oh, holy shit!
You just weren't ready for that.
No, I wasn't. Holy fuck!
Nobody's ready for Mike's mongoloid.
Dude, I was not ready for that. High five. That was great. That's probably the funniest I've ever been.
Has everybody done a scene at this point?
No, we still got the bottom scene.
No, I'm saying has everybody had a role?
Everyone's had a roll.
Then
Yeah.
I say we just fucking
All right,
move
we're done.
forward. Yeah,
we
like,
end on that.
we're not gonna do
That's
better.
Fucking, dude,
Yeah.
Again, I gotta give you.
Yeah.
That was fucking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Holy shit.
All right, so
It came close to coming out.
Dude, seriously.
So the Guardians of the Galaxy. Moving forward, ultimately, I want to talk about like our general feeling on whether or not we really enjoyed this movie or not. Anthony is sick heiling, so he.
Yes. Well, I wasn't sick heiling. I was.
I mean, don't sig heil to prove that you weren't sig heiling.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. I was pointing.
You're super German. You were not allowed to do anything even vaguely sig heil.
Damn it! Shut the fuck up, Hobbit. Okay. I'm trying to. All right. Before we get back into the meat and potatoes of fucking Guardians of the Galaxy, I just want to mention that veteran freaking character actor just passed away. Michael Parks.
Yeah.
Fucking Michael.
Yeah,
Parks.
I was introduced mainly through Quentin Tarantino movies and later on Kevin Smith. His best fucking role quintessentially has got to be fucking Red State.
Red
Yes.
State, hands
Hands
down.
down,
He was the
but,
head preacher in Red State, like
you know,
the
Aben
white
Cooper.
Aben Cooper, the white bearded
Thank you,
like
Joe.
preacher man. Holy shit!
Holy shit!
The fact
indeed.
that I think it was because it was Kevin Smith that it didn't even get approached as an idea as an Oscar nod, but the way
No, that acting
acting
fucking
was
hell,
so
man.
Deserving.
unbelievably deserving of
It's-
at least a nod.
It wasn't just Kevin Smith. It's because horror movies are basically like one step up from porn as far as
But it wasn't horror. It wasn't a horror movie. Though.
As far as the Academy is concerned, anything that approaches horror is basically one step up. From
That's some
porn.
bullshit. That's some bullshit.
And it is bullshit. It's total fucking.
If there's a statement on how strong Red State is, a shitload of the actors from that were their next movie was Argo, which was Best Picture winner.
Sure.
And that
Yeah,
was pretty much Affleck realizing that Kevin Smith had a shitload of good actors in there
really
and
good
pulled them
actors.
into the Best Picture winner. So
Well, an example is that in recent memory, the only one I can think of offhand that is even close to a horror movie that got any kind of nod by the Academy is Silence of the Fucking Lambs from like '92, and the only way they were able to
Hopkins.
deal with it is because Hopkins, and they
Hopkins.
called it a thriller
Yeah,
instead of a
Yeah.
horror movie.
But no, but
And
Hopkins did act his ass off on that. I'm
But
just saying.
that's a horror thriller,
and that
I
was
mean,
1992. But you know.
Yeah.
Hopkins just acted. He just had decent material to work with.
Anthony Hopkins just played himself.
He just played himself. He's Sir fucking
which
Anthony Hopkins.
speaking of which, real quick, the director of that also just passed away.
Jonathan
Oh,
Demme.
Yes, he
Yeah.
did. He
With
did just
that,
pass away.
and
Yes.
I don't know if anybody's seen Stop Making Sense, which is
Oh, dude.
Yes, of
amazing
course.
documentary.
Seen it and also have the vinyl
Yeah.
of the performance.
Yeah.
It's funny. The older we get, we just keep seeing these people that we know and love.
It's almost like
or
as
follow
people
just
age,
gone.
they die. It's weird.
That's
Like,
weird
it's
how that
super
happens.
Weird how that works.
How does that happen?
As people that were important to us in our formative
Is it
years
magic?
are definitely like at least 20 to 30 years older than us, and then as we get older, they keep dying.
Exactly, but 20, 30 years older than us isn't old enough to die.
Well, no, if you lived through the 70s and 80s, it did. Like, these are all people that did
And that's
lots
their,
of cocaine
That's
and
their own
Quaaludes.
fault, though, for doing a lot
But
of
you
drugs.
know, most people base it on when they saw the material, who the person created.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about the person when they were born. They're going, oh fuck, I saw this, in '92. They're already dead.
Yeah, that is true.
Speaking of, this is definitely jumping a little bit ahead, but it's a perfect segue to one of the most emotionally prevalent scenes in Guardians 2, which is, I mean, we've spoiled the fuck out of this at this point, but the death of Yondu.
Yes. God damn it.
Yes.
That fucking scene
Was super, like, they got really ham-handed on some things, and honestly, the
That was
Yondu
done
death
right,
scene
though.
was
That was done right.
Still heavy-handed, but I think
done
that
right.
scene was appropriate to go a little bit heavy on it.
That's the scene that Rooker deserved. He's done
Right?
so much stuff that I think Gunn specifically was like, I'm giving you the fucking scene.
And I love they set it up where his brother's going to replace
Exactly.
Michael Rooker.
Although, let's not forget his performance in The Walking Dead. In his last performance, he did the same thing. It was very sacrificial.
Yes.
Oh God!
And, you know,
the final
did.
scene where Norman Reedus has to kill his brother as a
No,
zombie.
but
And
just that,
before
but he has
that,
his
he
fucking
gave
finger.
himself up with the governor in the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's very smart about picking those roles. And although this is probably written after the fact, I guarantee that role changed. And for it to be sacrificial, like the way he did it, was beautiful. But that Mary Poppins scene
Oh,
is genius.
Michael Rooker has been one of my favorite like genre actors for years.
Ever since Henry.
I mean, yes,
Henry
exactly.
Portrait of a Serial Killer. If you guys
Fucking
don't know
phenomenal.
Michael Rooker, check out Henry Portrait of a
Yes.
Serial Killer. It's a slow-paced movie. It's super slow.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
But goddamn, if he doesn't act
it's
his
amazing.
fucking
But like
face off in that movie.
all his like schlocky action and like like bullshit movies from the 90s. I mean, I kind of love them all, but this is really his swan song as far as acting goes. You just talked about The Walking Dead and this. I mean, they're great roles, and I know like James Gunn has been like a huge fan of him and has featured him in a lot of things, and he was fantastic in Slither, but this death was one of the best movie deaths I've seen in a while.
yeah.
I got to say, one of the biggest out of all the emotional roller coaster shit they pulled in this movie, as far as Volume 2 went, one of the biggest ones that like really actually hit me, like it was like all of them were supposed to hit you, but this one really hit me was when he's fucking sacrificed himself. He's shooting out of Ego's planet, and he says, he may have been your father, boy, but he ain't your daddy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, motherfucker, god damn it.
Aw.
And there was no way in fucking hell, and this is why I looked across at Jodi and said, I got you, that James Gunn was not channeling the tail end of Wrath of Khan with sending off fucking Spock with that fucking send-off. I mean, they did like a cremation version of it, but it was totally like the ticker tape, the like emotional moment, like sending out the fucking ducks of the spaceship thing. That was a total homage to the end of Wrath of Khan. 100%.
You guys all saw the arrowhead at the end of that little.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on, man. That
Yeah.
was great. It was great, right? Oh.
No, and then just doubling down with then all the fucking Ravagers show up and start doing fireworks.
That
It's
was-
like, and fucking Sean Gunn, his brother shows
brother,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, and freaks out, and I'm just like, this fucking like tears.
But they like give Star-Lord like the Zune.
Yes.
Fuck.
It's funny because it's obsolete technology.
it is. It's not even
Yeah, it's
relevant
not even a
anymore. It's
thing.
not even relevant.
Izzy's always one step behind.
But I would love to, you're talking about James Gunn and the creating of that character, and especially in this movie, the whole daddy part. He played it so well that I gotta wonder that a guy like that probably took it from true experiences, which makes me think of how James Gunn, when he wrote that, he was probably thinking about something personal like his father. Because it was really so well written and very quick, but really well written.
Yes. No, it was that part was that whole end scene with Yondu and the Guardians was like very, very well written. That wasn't what I had to go with. I was agreeing.
Yeah, I'm saying you finish your point. and then-
What I wanted to say is everyone caught that little nib at the end there, right? With I think I actually just forgot it now. Hunter, go ahead.
So
that dick kicker apparently kicked in.
Dick kicker.
he's had a little bit of alcohol.
I will come back with that,
All right.
but no, there is.
I did feel like the title of the movie was missing a little additional subtitle, which would have been Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Daddy Issues.
Where
literally,
Like
that's
Nebula,
the
all
theme
of
of
them,
the
right?
fucking movie is daddy issues between Star-Lord, everybody.
Me? All right.
You're following up on the point you forgot.
I'm following up on it involves the Ravager funeral because like they bring that up in the first where like Stallone's like, you'll never see the lights of whoever the fuck.
You can understand what he was saying, by the way, because I needed subtitles.
You'll never see the lights.
No, because like
the fuck.
it's almost like you've seen on the internet where there's like there's the brain bursting of like reaching fucking utopia on like fully understanding the universe. That's the level of Stallone over the years. Where like if you go early, Stallone's like, well, I just have a really thick accent, and then you go to like where he's starting to use roids. He's like, well, I just sort of have a nice accent, and now you get to now Stallone is like,
I needed subtitles for him, honestly.
No, I understood
saying.
everything he said, but he tells Yondu like you will never see the lights of whoever the fuck their person is.
You speak Stallone?
I do.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, but anyway,
that's the name of the episode.
Anyway,
you speak Stallone?
During the Ravager funeral, it goes to Stallone first, then it goes to like Ving Rhames' little crew, and then it goes to the three chicks.
Michelle Yeoh.
The chick in the center, you do realize the chick in the center is the same chick in the Ragnarok trailer that catches the fucking hammer and shatters that shit.
No, it's not.
Helena?
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
No, it's definitely not.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's absolutely not the same actress.
I swear that's the same
100%.
actress.
Was it the Asian looking one?
No.
Yeah, because the one in the center is Asian. The one in the Ragnarok trailer is a white girl that looks like she goes to Fallout.
The one in the center is not Asian. She is a white girl. The one in the center.
The one that has the lisp? Like, I'm gonna miss Yondu.
I promise you, it's not the same girl.
It's
I
not
don't
the
think
same
it is.
girl. No,
I swear to you.
it's definitely not.
I don't believe that.
No.
I gotta see
But
proof of that.
If you wanted to understand Stallone, I'm pretty sure the Rosetta Stone is getting drunk. If you go in there drunk, you probably can piece together what he said.
One last thing on Stallone. We will acknowledge this is the Tango and Cash reunion we'd all been waiting for.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
They never met each
they didn't
other.
work together, but they're both in the same movie.
Bullshit.
I call that a reunion.
Where was the fucking freeze frame high five? I didn't get that shit. How about the SUV
Also
from
being
hell?
said, to clarify one of the end scenes with Stallone involved, that's the original Guardian
From the comic.
group, from the comics, is Stallone and all the other peeps, minus Yondu, who it was discussed why he wasn't there because dead. But that was the original Guardian crew, and honestly, that's the thing that excites me more than anything else is that sets up. You don't put Ving Rhames and Stallone in without kind of giving a possibility of them returning later as additions to the Guardians crew. Guardians and Avengers have one thing going for them: interchangeable parts.
Sure.
Throughout the years, Guardians and Avengers on the same end. The Guardians are basically the Avengers of the cosmos.
Sure.
They exchange parts, so you're gonna very possibly in the future.
A
No
lot of
guarantees.
look,
Get a Ving Rhames, Stallone, like super over the top Expendables, but in space.
It's mix and match.
Movie. Yeah, it's
I
mix
know
and
Nebula's
match.
pretty pissed at her dad, so she's gonna definitely come.
Well,
and play in
Nebula,
that. Nebula's
honestly,
pretty
Nebula
pissed.
is the reason why the Infinity Wars or Infinity Gauntlet ended in the first place, because her dad assumed her as weak enough that he didn't have to worry about her, and then she fucked shit up. So,
Well, there's two main players, Adam Warlock and Ant-Man. Well, Hank Pym.
Hank Pym.
Specifically.
Not Scott
Are
Lang.
two major... No, not Scott Lang.
But Hank Pym.
Hank Pym, specifically in the Infinity War,
But we've gone so far off board on these storylines with Winter Soldier and Civil War.
You
and
don't have
everything,
to
and
stay with that.
honestly, at this point, I don't expect them to. Honestly, Infinity Wars, that comic, is fucking terrible. It's not good. What we assume they're going to do is Infinity Gauntlet, which is like the be-all, end-all, the go-to Thanos storyline. And I know that front to fucking back. I know that's so fucking hard.
Speaking of, you mentioned, you brought up like Winter Soldier, and like that reminded me of like sequels, and we are talking about a sequel as well as a brief brush in the first one, which every fucking listener who's even gives a fuck about this panel has already seen the first one, probably jacked off to it a couple times. It's amazing.
Really enjoyed it.
Really enjoyed it. But no, so out of the MCU, how do you feel that Guardians 2 ranked? Because you've got Winter Soldier, you've got Age of Ultron. How does it rank as far as sequels go?
I want to say out the gate that Guardians is my favorite MCU movie so far.
Well, this
and
is also coming from somebody that doesn't actually like superhero comics.
True. I don't get as fired up because I didn't follow those kinds of comics growing up as much. But as a sequel, I really fucking enjoyed it.
Comparatively to the other sequels.
So
Winter Soldier, Iron Man 2.
I enjoyed
Lost
Winter
World.
Soldier better than the first Captain America movie.
Agreed.
Compared
Absolutely
to Guardians
agreed.
2, though. How do you feel? My question is, how
That's
do they?
a hard comparison.
Are you
though.
talking? You're talking about
How do they rank as sequels to
as
the
sequels?
first? Yes.
Okay.
That's my question.
I think this is a better sequel than Winter Soldier in the sense that it is a better follow-up to the first movie. Okay, the first Captain America and Winter Soldier are completely different movies. There's almost
You feel like there's more familial ties.
There's very
to...
little continuity.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean,
Because there was like a 40-year time gap, but okay.
there was, but I mean, like the feel of the first movie. No, I'm serious. The feel of the first movie and the feel of the second one are totally different movies.
Okay.
Completely. And
That
the
is
same
true.
thing with
That is
all
true.
three Iron Mans. All three Iron Mans are their own entities.
Iron
Okay,
Man.
Kyle's about to bust a fucking nut over here.
Go.
He's got a little vein popping out.
So, no. Although I get where you're coming from. For example, Winter Soldier, as far as the sequel, besides Logan, which they compare it to, is like their Dark Knight. It's their opus. Like Winter Soldier is one of the best. Is probably the best Marvel film out there. Period. It's the best laid out, best script, best fucking directed, best action. I don't give a shit what you have to say.
It's
about
it's a shining crown achievement of
But
fucking
as far
MCU.
as continuity, I mean, every single movie is designed to breed continuity and to move on a furthering story.
Which Civil War did with Winter Soldier. Civil War did.
Civil War did. Okay. All right, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, I agree with Smash. I think Winter Soldier is the strongest of the sequels. I think Guardians 2 kind of falls into what we were talking about outside.
Age of Ultron. Yeah.
Was Age of Ultron, where
Dark World.
it's not a shitty movie. It's not a DC movie. Sorry, Smash. But it's pretty much, it's not a DC movie, but it's not as strong as the first one.
That's right.
So, like, they're not shitting the bed like,
Now,
DC movies.
Do
but
you enjoy, as far as sequels go, Ultron or Guardians 2 better?
I'd probably put Guardians 2 at
Guardians
this point,
2.
just because I think the humor in it, it's there's a little
So
more
based
fun.
solely on humor? Not
Well,
on
I'm
story
just saying,
arc,
it's a little
but
more
on humor.
It's a little more fun movie. Where I think the first Avengers was the same.
Was really fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Well, I'm actually going to follow up with that. Is I think part of the problem with Age of Ultron, as much as I definitely enjoyed that movie, some of the magic out of the first Avengers was lost due
Yes.
to producer involvement
With director.
and you definitely felt there were scenes where it didn't have that Joss Whedon magic that you're used to, where you could tell the scenes where it was all Whedon, where it was very like when Vision just picks up Thor's hammer like it's nothing, and everyone's like, cool, I'm with him, and it's totally cool. That's totally a Whedon scene. And there's other scenes that are just super. There's no humor to it. It's just it's a movement scene that doesn't have any humor. Guardians, as much as it gets clunky at parts and it has its problems, it definitely does way more so than what I consider almost the perfect superhero movie of Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. I mean, there's almost nothing wrong with that first film.
No, there's not.
It's almost perfect.
That first film was amazing.
This second one has its problems, but at least on those weird, boggy moments of it being clunky and the dialogue's a little bit clunky, it's still funny. And that's why it kind of pushes past Ultron for me.
Yeah.
I just want to make a, just a disclaimer here. I really, really enjoyed Winter Soldier. Okay. That movie was fantastic.
And this is, you don't like superhero movies.
I it's not that I don't like them. I enjoy them. I enjoy them. But I did not grow up reading these comics. Okay. So
Well,
I don't have the emotional connection from like having grown up reading all
in
these
conversations
stories.
that I've had with you, you are not with me on opening nights most of the time for superhero movies. when I went and saw Winter Soldier, I told you this is straight up like 1970s like political thriller movie, and I heard your dick get hard through the phone.
You actually heard that, huh?
Well, you felt it get hard.
Like, sir?
I mentioned like
A tree branch growing? Like
I mentioned like All the King's Men, and I heard just like thump.
Exactly.
Like,
no swords.
and then you went and saw the movie, and did I steer you wrong on
No,
that?
not at all. And it was
Yeah.
fucking fantastic. And so I do enjoy them, but I don't feel like there's the best continuity between the particular storylines like that well. And like Guardians, it's the same director of both movies. He wrote both of them. Second one is a B+. First one is an A+.
Yeah, agree.
Okay. And so yeah.
No, I completely agree. I will say that one of the coolest things about those movies versus other movies in the MCU is hope. And I know it's really cheesy to talk about and blah 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 blah. And people are like,
Don't you know
"Oh,
hope?
God, is
Don't
that
you know
bad?"
hope is dead?
I know, I'm bleeding heart and all that shit, but you know, it really is about hope. And people can say what they want. They can be as pessimistic as they want, but at the end of the day, they like the idea of hope. And when you watch those movies, you see family, you see friends, and the worst fucking things they could possibly be going through, and they still have hope. And people draw to that. They come to that like a moth to a flame.
Who's Hope?
There are several comedic actors that are raising her right now. But
All right, now
I
that
hope she's safe.
now the hippie's done talking, can I just say I think one of the issues with compared to the first and the second one is the second one seems very stationary. It's like one setting. I think what's exciting about the first one is you have the prison, you have different planets. This
go
one
back
seems
to
very
Xandar,
you're
like, they bounce
you're kind
around.
of stuck on Ego way too much, and I think
That's true.
Agreed.
for
Absolutely.
a cosmic movie to be stuck on one planet kind of kills kind of the adventure part because you can get away with that on Avengers, but Guardians of the Galaxy, you're expecting multiple planets.
And I want to talk a little bit. I've talked about it on the porch a little about I see it as a plot hole, and I want to see how people feel about it. Where the bargaining that Ego has doesn't make sense, considering where initially Ego said that he visited Quill's mom 3 times. So it means that she died in her like mid to late 20s at best. So traveling time between his planet and Earth is not that bad. Like he can get back and forth pretty quick. He said the reason that he didn't stay is that the longer that he's away from his planet, the more he dies, right? So that's why he said that he couldn't stay. But he also said that the reason he didn't visit the 4th time was because if he stayed, he would have stayed for good. He's immortal. If he stayed for 60 years, which would have been her life, like let's say like best ever, she's like 26. He stays for 60 years, so like 86. That's a pretty good age to die. Like, is he withering away? And also, apparently, to and from time between Earth and Ego is not that bad, so he goes and re-ups and then comes back. So he spends like 2 years away, he comes back, and he spends his time. If this is really the love of his life, the first time that he's ever felt love, and he spent his time developing how to discover humanity, he wants to discover love. He's denying it by not, like, he's immortal. His opinion of time is bullshit. Like, or our opinion of time is bullshit to him. He could have totally been a father, like lived through the life and like raised Quill and taught him the ways of like immortality and actually gotten him to like naturally agree to be part of this weird fucked up evil like henchman plan just by like going and re-upping in his planet and then coming back. And he didn't do that. And there's plenty of hand raising.
All right. So first thing I got to say is that I don't really buy the whole "I really loved her" thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay? I'm sorry
But
because
that's the thing is that it's implied when his eyes are blackened, he's explaining this where he even mentions that he like put the cancer in his mom. where he's wide open and he's still saying that he loved the shit out of this woman. So
he's saying the words, but here's the disconnect. Okay.
First he doesn't actually understand love.
First of all,
is the real,
exactly, because he's an immortal, he's a celestial. His planet is called Ego. Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on.
True.
The German has a point.
So, I mean,
don't ever say that again.
The German has a point.
I'm sorry, but
by the way, by the end of this episode, he will be Ego.
You're not helping.
I'm serious. I mean, like, how could you read that any other way? And he says these things, and then he says, matter of factly, it's not even like emotionally. He's just like, yeah, and that's why I put the cancer in her brain. And the emotional one, Peter Quill, snaps the fuck out and like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And like,
No, it wasn't even like he didn't even say anything. You just saw his eyes go back out. He just starts shooting.
Exactly.
It was
just
great.
Like, but that was the whole thing. It was like, fuck, man.
And I agree with you. Ego is a cosmic equivalent of a sociopath. He feels
absolutely.
nothing,
Yeah.
Except for himself.
He wants to feel things.
But he doesn't. He doesn't know how.
Which is why he, tried with thousands of different,
I love that, like,
rituals, all
straight
the
up
same story.
1970s, like, free love shit.
Right.
I understand why he showed up on planet Earth when he did, because he was, like, down for that, like, free love, motherfucker.
And when they find the fucking skulls...
Yeah.
No, the plus side is
so dark.
Guess how many fucking dead hippies are in that fucking tons of dead hippies.
If you ask Anthony, not enough.
Not enough.
I feel like his response was kind of like Ash in Army of Darkness when the chick comes up. It's like, oh, it's just sailor talk, baby. Like, like, well, yeah, pillow talk.
Pillow talk.
He's pretty much just kind of telling whoever at that time.
Yeah,
what they
sailor
want to
talk
hear.
is like, kiss my fucking peg leg.
But he's just telling them what they want to hear till he achieves what he needs, which is a living battery. So,
What? True, but at a certain point, he does say that she knew every song. She knew all the lyrics to the song on the radio, and that right there was one of the very few things.
That's the most humanistic statement.
Yes, because one of the best memories you can have as somebody is being in a car listening to that song with the person that you wanted to be listening to it with.
I remember
and that happens to be her.
There are multiple moments in my life that I remember somebody that I cared about, whether it be romantic or otherwise, just a close friend or romantically, where I remember how they waggled their hand outside the window as a song was playing, or how they sang off key to a certain song. That's the moment that was captured by that statement, is that we've all had that moment. And that's absolutely an insight into the fact that he absolutely did love that woman.
And not even that, but also the connection he made with the sea and the sailor and all that. That was a really big, for me, that was a really big cue that he did love her. Where he's like, the sea was his plan.
Yeah.
And he was called back to the sea. As much as he loved her, he gets called back to the sea. That was a big thing too.
There's also, like I said, being in the moment with the people that you care about, listening to that song that you love. Like that was a big theme in there, is that you're constantly with the people that you feel at home with.
I'm going to bring it back to the whole sociopath thing because no, I'm serious, because I think legitimately he really wanted to love her. Like but he has no concept of how to love a mortal because he's immortal.
Except for himself.
So, it's one of those things where, he wanted to connect. He definitely did. But in the end, his total goal was to sow the seeds of his power and immortality on every world around here and fucking make them all in his own image and fuck everything else up. And
just like every man.
Well, not every man, but
every man German.
Well, I think
thank you.
I think that's the one thing that I think James Gunn got the best out of this sequel is that he didn't make Ego the villain in that he was like mwahaha curling his mustache. He made Ego where he was just so disassociated from normal humanity that
exactly.
that he didn't understand the willy-nilly of normal interaction. He didn't understand romance. He didn't understand interconnectivity. He didn't understand fucking friendship.
He didn't understand mortality, really.
The one person that he had that you would consider a friend called herself his pet.
So it's not really evil, it's just other.
It's just other. It's that he has no concept of, as was discussed in Guardians 2, that he was alone for so long that he never understood, and he screamed at the heavens, for the first time in my entire life, I'm not alone, when he's standing next to his son. You know, that's the only time he fucked every alien that's ever existed in the universe,
and buried all those kids,
and buried all of his children. He Casey Anthony'd so many fucking kids.
Yes. Oh, point it out. Oh, that's great. Casey Anthony.
He was like, I will see your Casey Anthony and raise you like the galaxy. And the only time that he felt that he wasn't alone is when he was next to a kid that he was using to basically take over the entire universe. This man is definitely a sociopath, but it's not like human sociopath. He doesn't know better. He doesn't understand interconnectivity. He's been one. He's hive mind. He's hive mind, but you only got to see the hive mind. Just like with that shitty fucking Independence Day remake where there's the hive mind mom.
Me on that. No.
You like it, right?
Yeah, fuck you.
Or like the fucking villains in the first Avengers movie where you kill the main thing and then everybody else dies. You're dealing with the head of the hive mind. The planet reacts around him. He doesn't understand how to work with other people, so he's not evil. He just doesn't get it.
I just think he was jizzing batteries. That's what he looked at. It's like all his jizz was just batteries, and like he didn't care 2 cents about him. He had what he was going to say. Besides that, just hook him up, fucking power. What he needs.
He was their proverbial renewable energy. That's all that Quill was.
He's like a tiger at a really shitty zoo where like they're really excited when they see food.
Right.
That's.
I will say
I
one.
think it's a little more complicated than that, Hobbit.
I will say one thing about this movie is that they did the early scenes with him CGI wise, his face, his young face.
No, his face looked
so fucking well.
It looked fucking
if
great.
only Rogue One did that
No
shit.
shit.
Right?
No shit.
They did say they used almost no CGI for that particular scene.
No, they were marrying like old footage.
Right.
But even so, they should have done the same goddamn shit.
It was
Agreed.
fucking beautiful.
It's
Absolutely
not
agreed
like
because
they
that
had-
was there. I didn't notice a
Flawless.
single fucking
Black
thing.
and
You
flawless.
learn lessons, right?
Yeah.
So they
It's not-
probably learned their lesson from that.
No,
was
no.
All right,
probably
look, we
post-production.
are well past time as we normally are on this
Yeah.
episode of the
All right.
Geeks Under the Influence. So we got plenty more to talk about this movie or these movies. We're going to talk about it on the patio, but thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and definitely follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music,
And we are GUI.
anywhere you get your podcast. If you can rate us and give us a positive rating, I hope, then do it, guys. Like, the only reason that we're still around is because of you. So just keep fucking talking to us. Keep telling other people about us. We're blowing up. And it's because of you guys. So
Fondle our digital nuts.
we're at episode 101. We've got 2 years, 101 episodes. So as always,
We're shitting out gold nuggets.
as always, I'm Mike the Hobbit Bickett, and join us or die.
Shut the fuck up, Hobbit.
Join us or die, or I will swallow your soul. Necronomicon gives us power to rise from the dead. You play to take, our grave begins to spread. You can fight all you want, cause you felt to resist. We're here to take the world and
GUIpodcast.com.